Okay guys, I'm back with part 2 of the plagues that are in Exodus. So let's jump in there. Alright, so the last video I left off in the third plague, which was the gnats or lice. And then, so the fourth plague is a swarm of flies. And of course, Pharaoh's heart was hardened, and so he didn't let the people go. So we move on to the fifth plague, which was all the Egyptians' livestock will die, which would be, livestock is like the horses and camels, sheep, anything that the Egyptians would use to not only eat, but to also sacrifice with. And then the sixth plague is boils, but it was on people and animals, which I thought was interesting. But Pharaoh's heart was hardened, so he didn't let the people go. Then the seventh plague came, and it was hail. And this is the first time that God includes death of people. And so he's telling them that you need to tell your people that they need to, in the field, that they need to find shelter or they'll die. And then we move on to the eighth plague, which is locusts. And in this chapter, chapter 10, it says, so that you may tell your son and grandson how severely I dealt with the Egyptians and performed miraculous signs amongst them. And so the plagues are a cast of a dramatic example of God's superiority. So this will serve to instruct the younger generations and remind the old ones of the ancestors' redemption. So Jesus rescued the Israelites from Egypt. And then we move on to the ninth plague, which is complete darkness. And like the third and the sixth plagues, they begin without warning. It just happens. But Pharaoh's heart was hardened. And then the last plague, it's the 10th plague, is the death of the firstborn. And I've went over in a different video the actual Passover of all that had happened in there. But if you didn't have the lamb's blood above your doorpost, then God came through, or the Holy Spirit came through and took out the firstborn. And so Pharaoh's son died. His firstborn son had died. But those are the plagues. And I have continued reading, but we will jump in another video for what I've read next.